Taoiseach, Minister, as you be aware, Naas General Hospital is an acute hospital with 243 beds, providing inpatient general medical, surgical and acute psychiatric services and a 24-hour emergency service to its immediate catchment population of Kildare and Wicklow, which is a population of close to 250,000 people. Naas General Hospital works closely with Tallaght Hospital and shares many consultants' posts. Naas General Hospital is part of the Dublin Midlands Hospital Group, as you'll know, and Trinity College is the academic partner for the hospital. The current endoscopy unit and department is within one building and has been deemed not fit for purpose following a JAG inspection in 2009. It comprises of one endoscopy room, which is in a prefabricated structure, and Minister Harris on his visit last November would be very aware of the fact that it's not fit for purpose. The endoscopy and day ward development for Dublin Midlands Hospital Group is a key enabler for group-wide development and cross-site working, particularly with regard to Naas and Tallaght. Naas General Hospital received planning permission in January 2015 for the development of the new endoscopy and day ward unit, increasing day ward capacity from 11 to 25 day beds. And when I touch later on some of the demographics of County Kildare, a rising population, and that of West Wicklow, and if you look at the amazing job the staff and management in Naas are doing under increasing attendances, the ED attendances are up over 4%, the inpatient attendances are up over 2%. So there are capacity issues here in Naas due to the increased volumes, and the staff are doing a remarkable job there. But staff morale has been affected by the fact that a previous government back 10 years ago promised this endoscopy unit. It was believed it was coming and it never materialised. And really now, as we head into review of the capital plan, Minister, this is a crucial development for health services in Kildare, and it has a much bigger benefit because the people, and when Minister Harris met with the meeting both at the end of last year and then a meeting here in Dail this year with the consultants from the endoscopy unit in Naas and with representatives of the hospital grouping, the strongest case that was made was not from those from Naas, but Dr. Susan Riley, who is the head of the hospital group, and those from James's and Tallaght, who will see the huge benefit in Naas developing its endoscopy units, the benefit that will be for Kildare residents who then won't have to travel, but also the reductions will be in waiting lists, and the likes of James's has very significant urology waiting lists there as well. So the capacity issues mixed with those means that this is a really strong business case. There has been enabling works for the project carried out already, and they're primarily consistent of an upgrade to the hospital power supply system. They were undertaken between 2014 and 2016 at a cost of 1.5 million already done. So this project is very much shovel-ready, Minister. And unlike any other projects in the hospital grouping, if we can secure that state funding towards it, it'll be ready to go straight away. It's gone through all of the approval processes within the HSE. Design and planning stages are complete and it's ready to go. However, the capital cash flow required to fund the project is awaited and not yet allocated. The cost of the proposed new build is €11 million, spread over a 3-year period, and depending on the start date and the phasing options, the costs may be spread as follows: about 2 million in year 1, 5 million in year 2 and 4 million in year 3, which means all of the 11 million obviously isn't needed up front. But as a key priority, this project will increase our ability and capacity to manage our increasing elective workload across a range of services for Kildare and West Wicklow and the Dublin Midlands Hospital Group in specialist areas such as ear, nose and throat, urology, neurology and gastroenterology. Naas and Tallaght have recently appointed consultants in all of these areas, which will result, and they're excellent consultants working in difficult conditions, and we need to make this as they deserve better and increased capacity so that we can tackle the waiting list and ensure that Kildare people don't have to travel for these services or wait any longer than they are.
Thank you, Deputy Heydon. I call it Deputy Minister Jim Dail, 4 minutes.
In the first instance, can I thank the Deputy for raising this important issue at this very timely time as the Department of Health faces in to the Department of Public Expenditure and Reform with the mid-term review of the capital spend. It's very timely that you should bring this to the fore, and I appreciate that, and that's helpful for the officials in my department to make sure that it secures the necessary funding for very important projects. And you make the point very well, Deputy Heydon, as well, about the importance not just of this project in its own and stand-alone. It has a case that's entirely acceptable based on the fact that it serves a population, as you said, of almost 250,000 or somewhere in the region, more than 220,000 people, but also the part of the network it is with the bigger hospitals that are inside in Dublin and the part of the team that it plays there and the overall, I suppose, benefit it accrues to those hospitals by providing this important service. So I do welcome genuinely, Deputy Heydon, the focus and emphasis you're putting on this project, and it is vital that my department gets this funding under the mid-term review to progress this worthy project. I welcome the opportunity to update the House on this Naas General Hospital project. As you will be aware, my colleague, the Minister for Health, met with management of Naas Hospital in April 2017 to discuss the plans for increased endoscopy and other healthcare services. The Dublin Midlands Hospital Group advised that this new development is a key strategic priority for the group. This development would help to clear the significant urgent scopes waiting list, and Naas Hospital would become a major ambulatory centre within the hospital group. This development would also enable significant strategic links to be developed between Naas, Tallaght and St James's. The project to be delivered at Naas General Hospital is more extensive than the Endoscopy Services Department and associated works. It also includes accommodation and ancillary services to support the new physical medicine, physical therapy, oncology services and day procedures departments, a duplex rather than a simplex, reverse osmosis filtration system and 2 lifts. All stages of capital projects, including the design and tendering processes, are subject to review to ensure that the projects deliver value for money. This includes, where possible, future-proofing to ensure that capital development meet not just current standards, but that provision is made for additional capacity and/or improved equipping, and that these are addressed appropriately. This has resulted in a significant increase in the scope of the project and, as a consequence, its estimated cost. I can confirm that the Department has forwarded its submission under the mid-term review of the capital programme to the Department of Public Expenditure and Reform. The submission is based on the projected funding requirement arising from existing commitments, strategies, demand-led service needs and commitments contained in the Programme for Partnership Government. At this stage in the process, it is not proposed to specify the individual project details contained in the Department submission. However, as with all healthcare projects, including this, further investment in hospitals must be considered within the overall acute hospital sector infrastructure programme that prioritise needs of the hospital groups and within the overall capital inflow available to the health service. I will be happy to keep the Deputy updated on this important project.
I'd like to thank the Minister for the response, and it's good to know that this has been an important part of the Department of Health's application to the Department of Public Expenditure for consideration as part of the critical capital plan. And the capital plan, to me, is about all the different parts of infrastructure of this country that we're going to develop for the betterment of our citizens, but also, you know, there are many cases where it makes economic sense to spend money on infrastructure that will save, and this is a perfect case in point. To develop an endoscopy unit and expand it at Naas General Hospital will mean that the hospital grouping of which Naas is a part they've identified a number of efficiencies. Tallaght Hospital are currently renting rooms in the Beacon for endoscopy services, and if this unit in Naas was completed, they could use that instead, generating savings for the group as a whole. And St James Hospital would also use Naas for urology services. And the completion of this new unit and extension would secure the future of Naas Hospital as a key strategic part of that group. So Naas General is very important to the people of Kildare and West Wicklow, but it's important that we solidify its base within the group as a whole for the future, and that's a really important part of it. And Minister, in your new role, and I'd like to wish you well in your new role as Minister with responsibility for mental health and older people, you know, I look forward to having you down to Naas and into Kildare to see that we have a high population of older people because of a large amount of nursing homes in our county because of our close proximity to Dublin. But similarly, we have one of the youngest populations in the country, and our mental health services are not fit for purpose. Minister McEntee was down recently. We have got an allocation towards an expansion of Lakeview services, but there is you know, potential for more expansion. I know you're aware of it. I've discussed it with you already, and we'll explore it further about ensuring that Lakeview mental health services are fit for purpose for the next generation, because at present they don't have the capacity to meet the very significant demand that we have in Kildare, and that, with the endoscopy unit here, is a really vital investment that we need to see in Kildare in our health services, and I look forward to working with you and the Minister for Public Expenditure on it into the future.
And again, thank you, Deputy Heydon. And again, just to assure you the Government's commitment to the future of this hospital and to see it progressing, as you say, not just as a standalone project. I think last year the funding, or this year, it's €58 million has been committed to Naas General Hospital, which is obviously a very significant part of the health budget, and well deserved. And I do want to pay tribute as well and acknowledge, you know, the commitment, the dedication of, as you mentioned, the staff in the hospital, but also the management team out of the hospital, and indeed in the hospital network and a hospital group that are looking ahead and that have their ducks in a row to ensure that Naas General can avail of the funding that would become available in any capital development plan. And I want to commend them for their future proofing those projects and their, I suppose, their forward thinking in that regard. And as you say, it is recognised the integral role that Naas General Hospital plays, not just for the immediate catchment area of almost 250,000 people, but indeed the entire hospital network there, including James's and Tala, which is very significant, the amount of people that they serve. It's a crucial cog in that wheel. That's well recognised by the Department and by the HSE, and we'll ensure that these projects are progressed in a timely manner and a progressive manner. And again, Deputy, to thank you very much for your interest in the project and for ensuring that it receives the ongoing attention at a political level to make sure that these proceed to completion. That's where we all want to see these processes at these stages. And on your closing comments as regards mental health in the area, I'd be delighted to take you up on your invitation to visit the area and have a look at what's working there and, more importantly, what's not working there, to see how we can collectively, with your help and the other members in the Kildare area, to try and address the shortcomings in the services there. I certainly look forward to that.
Thank you, Minister.
Good morning.